Welcome back. A local organization that is doing its part to honor veterans, especially around the holidays, is the Toledo Memorial Park. 4 years ago, Wreaths Across America was brought to Toledo, and it's grown ever since. Toledo Memorial Park is the second largest cemetery in Ohio. With 380 acres in Sylvania, they've served more than 14,000 veterans and their families. The founders of the park decided in 1922 that they wanted Toledo Memorial Park to be a veteran cemetery. And keeping with their mission to honor those who served, it was no surprise that when Wreaths Across America was suggested, they quickly implemented the program.
We try to place as many wreaths as we can on veterans' graves every December. And about 4 years ago, a gentleman walked in my office. His name was Mel Harbaugh, a Vietnam veteran. And he explained this program that he was involved in at a small cemetery in Sandusky. I think it was one of the veteran cemeteries. And he really wanted to try to get that going here. And I immediately thought it was a great idea, and we became fast friends, and we got to work on it. And we have placed, we probably average about 2,500 wreaths every year here at Toledo Memorial Park.
Wreaths Across America has quickly grown in the last 25 years.
Back in 1992, Merle Worcester had some wreaths left over. He makes wreaths for a living. He had the wreaths left over, and he decided to send them to Arlington Cemetery. He'd been there as a boy, a 12-year-old boy, and he remembered about that, and so that was his idea of sending wreaths. So until 2005, it was just him sending 5,000 wreaths every year. And 2005, a national news reporter happened to see the trucks coming into Washington, D.C. to go to Arlington, and he had a report on that thing, and from then on, it has grown drastically. Like I say, 1,200,000 wreaths worldwide. We don't do them just in the U.S. They're all in France, the Philippine Islands, anywhere we've lost veterans. I started about 5 years ago over Sandusky at the cemetery and the hospital in Sandusky. A friend of mine that I was in service with sent me an email talking about Wreaths Across America, and I thought it was sort of neat, so I called up and went over and volunteered. Two other gentlemen, Jerry Walker and Mike Wagner, went with me this second or third year, and they are on the committee here. They've helped out along all this time. So last year we did about 3,500 wreaths here.
The goal is to place a wreath on all 14,000 veterans' graves in Toledo Memorial Park. This year's ceremony and wreath placing is on December 16th. If you're interested in volunteering to place wreaths or donate a wreath for a loved one, you can contact Toledo Memorial Park. It's amazing how a program like Wreaths Across America started as one man's way of honoring those who served and has now turned into a nationwide initiative to remember fallen veterans, honor those who served, and teach children the value of freedom. And it's great to see so much patriotism, but in the past, that wasn't always the case. In part 2 of our program, go with us as we learn just why the honor flight was so important to the veterans on board.
The honor flight is important because these individuals sacrificed a great deal, some more than others. Some of them didn't come back. These folks did, but yet they made that sacrifice to defend the country. And it's only appropriate that we thank them in a special way. I mean, that was another thing today when we got off the airplane in Baltimore, and I was pushing my gentleman through that line, and all these people were clapping and yelling, and I mean, it was really nice to see. And I know when I came back from Vietnam, we didn't get that, and I don't think the gentleman that came back from the Korean War got it either. And so it's very touching, and it's very appropriate.
We were going to have a world cruise aboard the carrier, and we were in Hong Kong when the war broke out in late June 1950. And we were routed to Subic Bay, where we loaded up with food, ammunition, bombs, and so on. And so we went over there. We're the first carrier in Korea. Task Force 77, there was only like 7 ships in our task force in Korea. We made our first attack in July 3rd, July 4th, and then we were sent back to the United States in November, at which time the Chinese came across the Yellow River. So we were in the United States for 5 days and went right back to Korea again. Well, we launched a lot of planes. We had jet aircraft, F-9Fs, which was the first aircraft carrier that had jets aboard it. Terrific guys. The real heroes were the guys on the ground over in Korea. So we were just more or less backup, but we did our job.
Well, it is what you made it. You could make it awful miserable, or you could make it halfway decent. I had a good bunch of officers and a bunch of darn good men with me.
It's a beautiful, beautiful city, and I can't wait to see the wall. It's what I came here for, and being in the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier was awesome too. So. I can't really find the words to see how I'm feeling. It's in here.
It's been very emotional because, like I said, I went in right after Vietnam, and I went in during a period when the military was not respected. I was in the service for 16 years before I ever got a free cup of coffee at a convenience store, before anybody ever acknowledged my service. And to walk into the airport this morning and to see everybody cheering, that was just, these guys deserve it most. But it was awesome. I couldn't even look at them because I was crying.
Order. Halt!
No one's words can ever describe what these feelings are, and watching all of them, and it's not usually an emotional person, but it's definitely an unbelievable experience.
That's your certificate. You keep that in there.
I was so amazed and humbled to have had the privilege to spend 24 hours with 24 veterans on their trip to Washington, D.C. It may have been one of the best days of my life. The stories, emotions, pride, and love that was shared and shown was so overwhelming. I don't know if I'll ever find the words to describe the whole entire experience. I'm so thankful for the sacrifices that these men and women made. Freedom isn't free, and this honor flight just put that into perspective so much more. From all of us at BCAN and BCSN, we would like to say thank you to all those who have served this country and allow us to have the freedom that we do.
Erie County Honor Flight, A Veteran's Journey, is brought to you by Artistic Memorials and Toledo Memorial Park, celebrating the beauty of life.